Good morning. We are doing a rewatch today of the game the other night. As we see, we have 4 minutes left. I've got me pulled up because whatever, but I'm the Indians. Larry is the token Spanish. When I look at him, they're sitting at 111, 30, and 43. No wonder you were short food the whole game, Larry. My goodness. Purple was Joel. Joel was the Bohemians, sitting at 51, 67, 31. I really like the Bohemians quick trade cards. It's nice. And then Jono, who's Leo the Hobo, representing Taylor as the Burgundians. On the other side, we had Jake, who actually, Jake's got a bunch of stuff over here, but his base is actually over here. Really look at Jake. Sitting at 117, 40, and 35. Still getting going. But he's got a couple minutes there to go. Barzy is the Goths, I believe. Yes, he gothed twice this game, Mr. Gother. Sitting at 34, 38, 80. This is weird. Those numbers feel weird for Barzy, but whatever. And then we have Ethan, who is the Malay. Part of why they won is because he went Malay. Sitting at 33, 56, and 76. And then, of course, Austin Vansquick, as you guessed it, the Spanish. Sitting at 51, 43, and 105. Holy cow, we're going to run out of gold no time soon. So we're going to kick it up because we got a couple minutes left. When we look at the water line, Austin's just lined it with stuff. Own the water, win the game. That's the name of the game. So we see it's open here. Treaty has dropped. So Barzy is going. He's just building. On the other side, I'm building as well and sending troops. Barzy goes this way. I don't know what he was going for. I don't know. Austin's building here. He's bringing troops across. Boom. You see Larry is here. Austin's trying to do that. Larry's trying to get troops going as fast as he can. Goes with Krebs. I like it. Meanwhile, up here, Barzy has built a castle. He's starting to harvest here in the middle because he realizes that resources, there is a fight for them, and it is worth it to win it. So he builds 2 castles, and he's starting to do this thing where he surrounds them with barracks. It's interesting. Keeps your castles alive longer. So I guess that's interesting. Meanwhile, Larry's trying to get over here. Austin has just owned the water, though. You are not going to take his water. Austin trying to build a castle there, but Larry gets rid of it. Larry's building trebs up over here. Boom, boom. Those are going to die quickly. Meanwhile, we see that Ethan is just chilling. And here comes Barzy and Jake are pushing right here. Meanwhile, Joel's coming along. We've got these troops are going on right here. Jono's kind of just getting going. Looks like he's shuttling troops across. Slow. But it is what it is. Meanwhile, they're looking over here. They're trying to push. This was a very big game. Ugh. Where was I? Sorry, it's been 2 hours. My game had to pause because parents are crazy. So, we got Jake over here. We got Barzy pushing here. Me and Joel are pushing up here. Meanwhile, in the south, Larry... Basically, Austin is keeping Larry at bay with all of his ships while Larry's trying to bump Austin off. Austin's got 1 million villagers over here. Larry's knocked that castle out. Holy villagers, Austin. Whatever it takes to get those buildings up fast, I guess. And they're just trying to pump out. This is expensive. So much wood is wasted. Which is funny because the wood becomes a primo Meanwhile, here in the north, we got a little bit of a stalemate. So we've got Ethan sending troops, we got Barzy sending troops. My hand cannoneers are kind of holding. Meanwhile, Jono is over here trying to fight with Jake. I don't know what... If Jake had been more aggressive with water, I think that this game would have been over faster. But instead, he just let us kind of sink. So they're coming down. We've got Barzy trying to get in here. Meanwhile, over here, we've got Barzy trying to come over here, and I'm trying to hold. And in the south, there's so much going on in this game, guys. It's like, so Larry has now taken control of this sector here, and they're taking over these things. Austin's decided to build over here now. Meanwhile, I'm sending troops to help out. We've got Jake here, Ethan here, or that's Barzy, not Ethan. Barzy's sending stuff here. We see that Jake is trying to build castles and trying to turtle long term. I don't know what's going on. It's just a lot of crazy. So, Jono has started to build on this side. Meanwhile, over here, we see that Larry is trying to just take out ships as best he can with bomb. And bombard cannons are the way. They are the anti-ship. When you got ship problems, bombard cannons are what you need. But you gotta be microwing when this shows up. And Austin's like, I will fight you to the death. So he's sending these guys. Austin's got gold and wood. He doesn't got a lot of food. Meanwhile, Joel is taken up over here. We see that Ethan is starting to show up over here. Meanwhile, Barzy is just sending everything he can on Earth. I'm trying to hold. We see that Jono is moved forward. Jono's bringing up the Trebs, and he's building his dudes. Just running amok. Love it. Taking care of stuff. Meanwhile, Joel is holding. I've got some stuff going. We see that Austin's trying to just build up the plunge is what he's doing. And Austin's just brought all of these things down here. Oh, painful. So, we see that Austin has shown up over here. Jake has turned because of that. Barzy's here, Jake's here. Austin's trying to build a castle, but it's getting killed. We're trying to take out that castle. I'm sending troops here. I feel like I was a non-issue this game. It's like so just poopy diaper. Meanwhile, Austin was trying to take out my middle in here. And Joel's got his super cannons. Oh, do these have more range? Do we know? I know that they hit hard, but I don't know how they do with range. So, Larry's trying to take out Castle, or take these guys out with Trebs. Meanwhile, in the north, Austin has essentially kind of run this area. I'm amazed the castle's still alive, and Austin's got a castle up. So we're trying to just push forward. Jake's going crazy. Barzy's trying to hold as best he can. We've got hand cannoneers. They've lost this sector here. This used to be a castle. So things are kind of going crazy. And now Ethan does the switch. Ethan switches to elephants. And that was very big this game. See that Ethan is just kind of taking control of the water here on this side. Larry is fighting tooth and nail for that. Let's see what this looks like over here. So they've got ships going on, and Jono is definitely dug in and held. I need to get my freaking troops moving. My goodness, what kind of game am I playing? It's ridiculous. And we're trying to we're trying to kill ships with threats. Oh. There it goes, and these elephants are just waiting at the door. Meanwhile, I'm holding over here as Ethan is sending troops here, and Joel is here as well. In the south, not a lot is going on. Larry's just fighting. I think at some point Larry gets across, and I may have missed it because these things are gone. So that tells me that Larry may have actually done it. Like how he's microwing to kill these guys with traps. Meanwhile, Austin is sending everything that way. Larry's hold this up because they like to send troops down over here. Meanwhile, up here in the north, I've hopped on up here, and we're just building. We're trying to take out this castle. So we built on their side a little bit, but not a lot. And Jake just full turns over here. He just sends in everything. Ethan brings in his elephants. And so now we've got Ethan and Jake going nuts. Ethan's over here going nuts. Ethan's elephants just become this mega meat shield for everything else to survive and do well. Because they just don't die quickly. It lets these other troops just go crazy. Meanwhile, Joel's alive and building. I'm trying to just own up here in the middle. They're not happy about it. And we're sending troops. They've just gone crazy over here, and they're gonna push Austin off of that side. So this all opens up the space. Meanwhile, in the south, we see that Larry actually does get across. Larry's put troops over. I think he's transporting. Oh, and he brought a bunch of villagers. Oh, Larry, you son of a gun. And he's trying to get a castle up as fast as he can. Does he get it up? He got the castle up. Oh my gosh. So Larry gets the castle up on this side, but so does Ethan. I'll get those villagers out of there. And we see that Austin is like, oh heck no. And just immediately turns things as fast as he can. Larry's building trebs, and that's what it is. And Austin swoops that off. So Austin's clicked the button over here. They've cleared them off. Inches, guys, inches. That was inches away from the big win there. Because that's probably the peak. On this side, we see that Jono has been now wiped off, and Jake's like, I'm tired of this crap. So we've got all of these elephants going. Elephants and siege, man. It's like, this is just, how do we stop it? Holy cow. And now Austin's trying to plunge. And they're gonna cut through here because Austin likes that back door. Because Larry's pretty much cleaned this area at this point. Ugh. Everyone is everywhere. That's what's going on here. So we got Jake and looks like Barzy. A lot of lot of onagers going on here. A lot of them. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got 10 of them just pumping onagers. The death wall, if you will. Backed up by the Goths. And then there's these guys that are going to come in. And we can see they've taken out my castle here. Knocking on doors. Meanwhile in the south, Larry is just holding for his life. See, he's fighting this still. It's crazy. Throw these up as a meat shield. I like it. That way they have to micro, and it's a good move. Meanwhile, Austin is winning over here and taking out these castles. And I'm having to send units up to build a thing. And if you look, wood is now gone. There is no wood. And I believe that's on both sides. There's just not the little bit here. but there is just no wood anywhere. We are out of wood, so it becomes a war of attrition here in the middle for all the trees. That's the fight's going to be for the trees, and we see that that Ethan is just cooking up here. These things are pretty good against these elephants. You know, they're not great, but they're taking them out. So Austin has 3. Barzy, what's Barzy's sitting on nothing. Jake, what are you sitting on? Jake's got some wood still, not a mountain of it. Who else? Barzy, Ethan, where are you? Ethan's yellow. Oh, holy crap, Ethan. So Ethan's gonna feed them wood is what that means. So I've turned south. Boom. Because my forward base up here has just been taken out by Ethan and Jake. Joel is just holding. They actually got through and up and in. When we look at military, just look at Jono. Yeah, they got all the way up into here for a bit. And John was pushing. And we see Ethan is like, I'm gonna just tower the crap out of this. Meanwhile, Jono was trying to build up here and hold, and Jake's like, not gonna have it. I don't want anything to do with this. Not okay. Meanwhile, Joel is holding. We gotta build new walls and stuff. Meanwhile, in the south, I've turned to help Larry. And we're trying to get to these wood choppers because everyone's out of wood. John's got some. I think we actually have more wood than we do. If you look, Larry's sitting on a ton. I'm out. Joel's out of wood, and he's got a mountain of food, but everything he needs is wood. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm like out of wood. So. Alright guys, sorry, it has been 4 hours since I last looked at this, so I need to get my bearings a little bit, but we're gonna keep going with what's going on. Oh yes, so there's no more wood anywhere except for in the middle, so we are now starting the battle of attrition of who can get the wood, because as we look, I'm out of wood. This is my one wood spot, and I believe that this is Austin's one wood spot. Let's see what's going on with Austin and wood. Yeah, Austin's out of wood as well, and he's out of food, and he's building villagers, probably sending them up here to get wood, would be my guess. Larry's doing everything in his power to stop it, and we are just fighting. Barzy's coming over here trying to kill him with these forward buildings. I can't get through to him. What we should have done, if we were smart, we'd have taken onagers and just taken out this side. Let's hold on to our wood and kill their wood. I may have, I don't know, maybe. Would have been entertaining at least. So we see Jake's going crazy over here. Joel's holding like a mother. I was trying to build a wall at some point over here, but it doesn't happen. So we see now that Ethan is in on the water. All over on this side, actually. That's quite significant. And this is the beginning of the end, really. Yeah. So we see Ethan is just sending hordes, and Austin's rich, but that's it. When we let's look at the price of things right now. Boom, boom, go back. That's what I wanted. Okay, so prices haven't skyrocketed yet, but they're gonna skyrocket for wood and stuff. So we see Ethan comes here. We're gonna fill this up. Here goes Ethan. Down in the front, Jake's down in the front. Joel is holding for the life of him. Trying to hold. They've killed my dudes. We've pushed out Ethan, I believe. Let me make sure of that. Yeah. So what's going on down here? So Larry's holding for dear life. I'm trying to get my troops down here. as fast as I can. And Austin's got dudes getting wood for him. Let's see, how much wood does Ethan have at this point? Because Ethan had a mountain earlier. Is he still sitting on a mountain? Oh yeah, he's still sitting on a mountain. And that's what's valuable at this point. Oh, I got a whole bunch of idle dudes. Great. And Joel is just saying, he's got, these things are keeping us alive. Meanwhile, Ethan's got these guys going, but he's not going crazy with them. John was trying his darndest to win over here. This is their major wood spot right now. I'm pretty sure that at this point I've bought I've bought spies by now, and I could have bought spies double over by the end of this game. Ethan's pushing me back, and I'm turning to help Larry down here in the south. This bottleneck, we should have just ripped it open because it was killing us. But it is what it is. Now these come down here. Joel is holding, like talk about a Herculean MVP performance. Joel Wright played out of his mind this game, trying to just stop Jake. And that castle goes down. Oh, castle didn't go down. Oh, there it goes. But they are just so much stronger than us over here. Jono's got ships going, so does Ethan. Ethan's back on the water again. And this is not cheap. And here goes Jono. Austin's got ships going too, taking out our front. And we're trying to just hold on for dear life and outlast them. That's literally all we're doing. Jake's going crazy. Just decided I'm gonna just lift this up, and I don't know how Jake's able to afford this. What's going on? Let's look at Jake's stuff. He's got no wood, and yet he's building wood expensive units, and we're trying to just kill him right here. Big push. And Joel is so good at just, I'm gonna hold for the life of me. There he comes over here, saves him, and here comes Austin. This is big. Oh, maybe this isn't the big moment. This is the big moment. So Ethan's gonna come and push me off the side. While that's happening, Jake's gonna start just pushing. All of these troops are just going nuts right now. We see that Jake's starting to own over here. Jono's been pushed back. Joel has just got so much coming out of back here. Doing great. But it doesn't matter. And Larry's still fighting over here for dear life. What's going on over here? Oh, Larry's trying to get to these guys right here. We're trying to kill as much wood as we can. That is our one goal in this game at this point. And they own our water. And when you own the water, you own the game. So now Jake's pushed forward, Ethan's pushed forward. I tried to wall this off, but it doesn't stop him. Inch by inch, mile by mile. I build another castle here. See how much wood is right now. Boom. Wood's up to 1,200, and we're not done buying. And Joel's pushed him back. Joel is hanging by a thread. I really should have spent the money and built right here and dug in right here with Joel. With hindsight 2020, I'd have said, Larry, you're on your own, and done that. Because right here, Ethan's coming along and he's gonna just wreck me. But you can see I'm gonna move south because I want to stay on this island. I don't want to give him the island completely. Meanwhile, Jake is just strong flexing. At this point, Jake is starting to overrun, and this might actually be the end of the dream. Because we see that yeah, this is the beginning of the end. So Jake pushes me out, which overruns Joel. Joel's trying his darndest, but man, you can't do much when you're out of wood. So, you know, He goes in. Jake's now into my base, taking over my dudes. Maybe. Oh, and here comes Austin on the backside. And Ethan takes over here. This is the end. So, the strong flex happens, and they get it. And that's the game. Well played to Jake McKean, Jacob Barzy, Austin Vansquake, and that dirty son of a gun, Ethan McRae, who just played out of their minds. This game was over before it began. We're trying to save the day, but Jake's just all over the place, and there's no stopping. But, I mean, when we look at the scores, everyone played well. Jake McKean did some heavy lifting on poor Joel, who did everything that that anyone asked of him, he did. And it didn't matter. And this was me saying, I'm done, I quit. They can have it. Larry was heartbroken. I know Larry's really down on himself about losing big games, but he's actually played very good. And there was a point in the game where we had taken this upper corner. We're starting to build over here. And Larry was over here. And the other team reacted really well. But in another life, we would have won. But instead, we got overthrown. In the late game, Jake McKean happened. GG. Let's look at some stats. Boom. So our military score obviously is Jake. Jake wonders why he's a 5. Jake, look right there. You're consistently this guy, and that is why you're a 5. You want to start losing some games and not seeing these late game surges as the Teutons, then maybe we'll talk about dropping you. But until then, you're playing great. Take the upgrade as a compliment, because it is. Playing awesome. Let's see here. For our units killed, I killed 4,100, lost 38. Our low was Jono with killing 16 and only losing 15. Everyone was over 1,500 kills. Jake killed over 5,000. Again, Jake, look at the KD ratio. That's why you're getting upgraded. And not just the killing, but the way that it's winning games is why you're winning the game on top of it. Austin and Larry, man, back and forth. Larry destroys 126. Ethan lost 122. We destroyed a lot of harbors and buildings of his. Larry lost 114 buildings that game, and he destroyed 80. All of us were just doing our very best to fight. Did I have the smallest army? No, Joel had a small army. So me and Joel had small armies. Ethan with 204, he must have deleted a bunch of stuff. On top of that, the economies, 300,000 gold. So it was a big game. The game did not end, and it was a big fight. It was a crazy game. When we look at Imperial Ages, I had the fastest Imperial by a mile. I'm surprised that everyone was so slow, but, still made for a good game. Surprisingly, Barzy had a very slow castle. That was weird how slow his castle time was, and same with Jake. They were off with the moonshine. Everyone was building a lot of castles. Joel built 11. I had 8. Ethan with 4 on the low end, but think about how many harbors he had. A mountain of them. This was a crazy game, and I can't wait for our next one. GG, boys. Kevin Firemean out.